And it's live. People, deluded. I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I'm back again. I'm back again. As I said, I hope you're all doing well and safe. Good morning to those of you in the UK. Depending on where you are in this world, as usual, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. We know the DG brand is international and it's ever growing. In fact, before I get into that, please make sure you're hitting the like button. And first and foremost, before we get into football and Arteta, and I'm obviously going to talk about Arsenal and City, and we've got a bunch of talking points to come. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you to you guys, man. I mean, my goal was to reach 30,000 subscribers before the end of the season. We've done it before the end of the year, and some of you are like, yo, DG, you're going to get it before Christmas. We're going to make sure. I was like, yeah, right. You lot are gassing, pardon me, it can't happen, it this and that. And you lot told me as to why, you shouldn't be pessimistic and you should believe in yourself. So I really appreciate you guys for pushing the thing. Without you lot, the thing isn't anything, just by watching the vids, just by hitting the like buttons, just by liking the content. You lot are doing a lot, man. And it always warms my heart that fundamentally you lot, appreciate what I'm doing, and you appreciate that I'm doing it from the goodness of my heart. Like, I'm not one of these people who's going to rant and change and rant and rave and say things for what and what's not. I'm all about integrity. So it's nice that what I try to transmit, across my videos and who I am and whatnot, you lot recognize that and you take me for what I am. I'm not going to discourage other people, but at the same time, I would never fake who I am, because I can assume it must get boring. There must be times where, people that are known for ranting and raving, there must be a time where they don't want to rant and rave, and people are not listening to them if they're not doing that. So I try to be who I am all the time, not that I can be anything else. So I'd like to say thank you. I'd also like for you lot to excuse me, because I didn't realize my hoodie's in the way. It's kind of effing with the green screen and whatnot, people. So yeah, man, thank you very much. What are you lot saying? Get in the comments, people. Please hit the like button. Tell me where you're watching from. Big up Donald. We've got Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya in the building. The Kenyans are always saluting my thing. In fact, that I've got a lot of love from all different regions in Africa, man. I mean, Kenya and Nigeria go the hardest. Ghana do their thing for me as well. I really appreciate you lot, man. Like I said, this thing is international, and it's crazy in a good way that, we're all united through our love of football. If you're not necessarily an Arsenal fan or love of Arsenal, and I'm sure we all live completely different lives according to where you live. So I really appreciate you guys, man. People, come on, man. Let's go. Big up all the members. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You can also check out the YouTube memberships, or basically my channel membership, just by hitting the join button for you lot on, if you look below where the video is actually playing from, I'm pretty sure there's a join button. I appreciate you guys. Big up yourself, Ollie. Big up yourself, Yowen. I appreciate that, J Money. Thank you very much. 30K. We keep going now. That was the goal before the end of the season. It's almost like it's like a Leicester thing in that, last season, if you asked Leicester if they would have taken a top half finish or a top 5 finish, they would have taken it, and they found themselves in the Champions League spots, and it was a bit of a disappointment the way it ended. But my point is, I have to reevaluate. 30K. I guess by that logic, when I look back, in fact, Snapchat reminded me, people, a year ago to this day, or not to this day, but a year ago, I was on 17,000. So, we've almost doubled it. So I guess you have to shoot for the stars. So by this time next year, hopefully, we're on 50, 60K. I mean, by that logic, we need to go for 60. And as I said, I'm appreciative, people, because 30K, if we put that in footballing stadiums, how much of it's not going to fill up the whole of the Emirates, but it's a significant portion of the Emirates. It's probably more than the Emirates get probably for Europa League games. So I appreciate all of you guys and whatever you're tuning into my content for, So I appreciate the congrats. I really appreciate that. Good morning says good morning. Good morning. Right back at you, player. Hope you're doing well and safe. Hamid says, DG, congrats on the 30K. You deserve it, G. Big up yourself, Hamid. You're normally getting on to me for conceding penalties. And it's sad that you'll never see me concede a penalty again, because me and a certain team have parted ways. But big up yourself. The members are locked in. I appreciate all the love I'm getting. I appreciate that. Like you said, it's a long road, man. I personally feel I have to take the stairs, because everyone's journey is different, and it's not a bitter thing, but everybody has a different journey. And I think with the content I try to do and portray who I am, it's not going to be a quick fix. We're not going to wake up one day and have 1 million views, because I'm not ranting and raving and acting like an idiot. But if that's what people want to do, that's what they want to do. I want to do my thing, and I want to do it the right way. I'm convinced there's a way to do it, and I'm convinced my way can work, in that I'm just me. I'm convinced it must do, card. You know, there's 134 of you in this live thing so far. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. But like you said, man, it's a long road, man. Thank you, bro. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep going, man. Love Maxwell. Deluded and Turkish keep me going through this hard time. Love the content. Big up Turkish. Turkish, if you're listening, I mean, come on, man. We need to get that collab. You're acting. And I hope, and I'm happy that, you know, that you like my content. And, you know, Courtney, you've got a very nice name, man. Little clue there for you guys. So yeah, big up yourselves, man. Big up yourselves. Come on, man. That's what I try to do. Sadly, we're gonna have to get involved into other stuff, surely, people. If you blow up like a balloon, you'll burst. Build with a strong foundation and you'll last. Facts, bro. Facts. Yeah, I have, man. They kicked a man out, you know, kicked me out for wanting to be a winner. It's a joke thing. Hopefully I can get that, you know. Big up the Ghanaians in the chat. Big up my Trinidad guys. Come on, man. I'm not prestige. I'll always reply to people. If I genuinely don't see it, I don't see it. I appreciate you guys, man. I'm not no big type Charlie. I appreciate you for reaching out, and fundamentally you're trying to help my thing. So yeah, man, I appreciate that. Big up Senegal as well. Like I said, you ain't got nothing to do with Arsenal. You're a United fan. So I appreciate that. You know, we've got Q8. Big up yourself, Boston. Green Frankie's on to me. He knows the thing. It's so weird you said that because you know my green tea's on deck. I really appreciate that, man. We're going to get into it in a sec, people. Luders has said, well, go on, DG. What do you think about the lack of leadership at the club? Disappointing, but not surprising, because when you look at the man at the top, yeah, you can, you know, I'm not going to get into we know, you lot know my feelings on Kroenke, but I don't see leadership. I see delegation and people left to free devices, but I don't see leadership. When I look at the people below, the edus and stuff, I don't see a leader. I don't see a protagonist. You know, I see people winging it. Arteta right now, I'm not seeing a leader. So, you know, the players, there's lack of leaders. You know, the two leaders in the team is a 19-year-old who played, 20 minutes coming off the bench in Martinelli. And Saka's been carrying this team. And obviously, you've got the Gabriels, the Tierney's, the Partey's consistently. There's not enough leaders. So it's concerning. And for me, leader doesn't mean beating your chest and flying into tackles and moving mad. For me, a leader is keep having high standards for yourself, holding yourself accountable when you make mistakes, craving excellence, being a protagonist of your fate. Because look at Arsenal right now. As crap as we are, there's still a lot of games to be played. So we can, I'm not going to go as far as to say we can salvage our season and whatnot, but there's a lot to be played. I see players accepting this. They're accepting their failings. They're accepting losing. They're accepting poor form. They're accepting other teams being better than them. They're not too many men are trying to go down fighting and for the cause, and that's the problem. So that's fully what I think, my guy, man. Big up all the Boston guys as well. Big up all the Americans as well. You lot go heavy, and I know I do the Americans a bit dirty when I do these early live streams because it's stupid o'clock in the morning around them sides. You know, live from Planet X. I see you in the comments, and again, all my Australians and New Zealanders and all those similar regions. Again, I feel sorry for you lot, but thanks for the love, regardless, man. Anthony said, would you take Isco on loan? Yeah, I'll take Isco on loan. Keyword loan. But again, the loan fee, it all depends. And to be fair, Arsenal have mismanaged themselves across many aspects, you know. Loan fee for Danny Suarez, you know, 2 loan fees for Danny Ceballos, not really seeing any change. Free transfers in Willian, Mkhitaryan and Kolasinac. The only word I have for all 3 of those is expensive. You know, yeah, Mkhitaryan ironically played good against Everton at home. You know, Kolasinac started well, I believe, in his Arsenal career and went down the pot. You know, we're hoping it can improve for Willian, but right now, you know, every day that passes with every poor performance and all the statistics in relation to Willian, you know, that 3-year deal, and I believe there's an option of another one, it looks even scarier, man. So that's what I believe. Millwall next. Boy, the wickedest thing is, I genuinely believe, yeah, people say we're too good to go down, we're too big to go down, we're this, that, and the other. And some of that might be true, but that mentality is what's going to lead into complacency. For me, these Arsenal boys need to, whether they believe it or not, because they're in it, mathematically they're in it, you know, there's no way around it. They need to fix up and they need to believe they're in a relegation battle, because this is the problem with Arsenal. You think the players for too long have felt they're too good for stuff, felt they're too good to do the honest work and the hard yard. And what you don't do comes to light eventually, and you're seeing it. We're the only ones that don't look like a team. For me, I'm getting more joy out of watching other teams. I got nothing to do with Crystal Palace and Liverpool. But as a neutral, it was fantastic to watch what Liverpool was doing and seeing Mane and all these players quite livid, quite frankly, that they've been substituted. When I'm looking at Leicester, I'm jealous. I'm seeing Fofana start. I don't understand why Saliba's not. Now, not everyone's situation is different, but when I look at Leicester, they know how to defend and they've got a plan. We don't. When I'm looking at Leicester as well, when I'm watching them against Spurs, obviously, anytime Spurs lose, I'm going to love it. But forget all of that. I'm seeing the players. There's a unit, there's a system, there's belief. Obviously, there's forward-thinking football and all of those sort of things, the basic things you want to see in our team, but it's the mentality. I'm hearing their coach, not even Brendan Rodgers. I don't even know if it was him. I don't think it was his because he doesn't have an English accent. You could hear people saying, no foul, don't foul, time, all of these sort of things, man. I'm not saying Arsenal are silent because there's rumours that someone from Arsenal's coaching staff was giving it right to El Nene in the game. But I don't see that, and when I look at that Leicester team, I see togetherness, I see a collective goal, I see ambition, I see desire, I see protagonists, I see people that want to look back in May with a sense of achievement. I see growth mindset. I don't see these things at Arsenal. I see fullbacks who are on the bench who should be switched on, bringing out fancy little cameras and taking pictures all around Goodison Park. This is, again, you can take pictures if you want, but for me, this is the mentality thing. Are we footballers or are we trying to do this celeb thing and this, this BBC, all this BBC sort of stuff? Are we trying to be footballers? I don't see it. And like I said, my guy, if we go down to the Championship, we're not coming back up. We're going to end up like Sunderland and Portsmouth and them and there. You think, with all due respect to the teams we've lost to, but if you can't go to Leeds away, them games there like Leeds away, that's every week in the Championship, Championship is full of bullies. We're going to get bullied. We got more chance of going right down into League One than popping straight back up. You need mentality. The games come thick and fast and there's a whole heap of games in the Championship. So, bro, if we don't fix up, that's where we're heading to, and we need to fix up like you said, man. Conrad said, how did your Sunday league game go? Mine was that we lost 6-3, first loss of the season. I don't play Sunday league anymore. I've been kicked out of my team purely for wanting to be a winner, man. It's crazy, man. Big up yourself, Lamin. Big up 30K. Come on. Good to see some real ones winning while our team are taking bare L's. And obviously, you're not happy with our team taking bare L's, but it's nice to see that you like an honest guy winning. Wayne, before the end of the season, big task. Not too sure if that could be done, but you know me. I'll give it my all. I'll give it my all and see if that could be done, man. What's G said? Well done on the 30K. You're one of the best on YouTube. Hands down. Keep up the grinding. I will do, man. I've got nothing else. Got nothing else at all. Big up yourself. Apparently, you lot. I'm seeing you lot in the comments. Make sure you're hitting the like button. I'm seeing that you lot are saying Arteta said he's a victim or something like that. And we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that, people. We've got time. I've got time. Big up Dermot. It's like you just coming to say people, but respect nonetheless. Big up the Twitch gang as well. I see you lot as well, people. To be fair, we don't know if they did or didn't shout at Bellerin, and Bellerin didn't play last game. Take me back, I said, big up DG. I love your analogy. Some of the wetness our fans chat is embarrassing. Facts, man. Facts. Bro, some man are not Arsenal fans, man. They're just loyal to their YouTube channels and things like that, man. It's crazy. And like he said, bro, bare L's consistently. I see red cards fighting each other. Everything but showing the fight I need to see and that you're trying to fight the other team. It's crazy, people. It's crazy, man. Leeds yesterday. I mean, Leeds lost. I'm not a fan of applauding people for conceding bare goals and things. It feels a bit like with Leeds with Blackpool, where man are just praising things for the sake of praising things, or Norwich last year. And I'm not talking about Bielsa or the team, because that deserves praise. I'm just talking about the way they're going into games. I was impressed with Man United. They put them to the sword. United conceded 2 cheap goals, but I think it was a good game. It was a good game for the neutrals, man. It was a good game for the neutrals. Big up the DC Tugs. We've got Jamaica in the building. We've got bare people. I really appreciate you guys each and every time, people. Hey, let's not talk about Arsenal. You don't want to talk about Arsenal. I'm seeing Atlanta in the building. I'm seeing South Korea. I'm seeing Ghana again. AJ's just saying he's loving the daily uploads, Deluded. That's all I got, man. I left my role to make this a thing, people. And it's got to work, man. There's no other option now. Like, I have to get to where I need to get to in YouTube. I need a tunnel vision thing. I'm not accepting anything less than excellent. Of course, it's hard. Of course, it's filled with sleepless nights. Of course, there's a lot of anxiety. I wish you lot could see it all. But I have to be a protagonist of my own fate. In this, everything I call for Arsenal to show, I demand of myself. I can't call for a man or a woman to do something if I'm not showing it. And so you get it, people. Big up yourselves as well. Bare different nations in the building. I appreciate all of you guys, man. You lot are coming heavy. Well, we got 316 people. Big up all the 316. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I think that's the first time I've seen South Korea. Big up South Korea, people. Big up South Korea. Really appreciate that. You know, the Samuel 96 said, love the content, keeping me going during my lunch break. Hopefully I keep doing that, man. Hopefully we keep doing that, man. Hopefully I can keep giving you consistent and good content that you like to enjoy. I really am appreciative of it all each and every time. Once again, wheel up for Jamaica, man. My fellow yard, man. I love it. I love it. We're going to get into it all, people. I'm just taking in what you lot are saying, man. There's early days. We've only been here 15 minutes. Southern has said, would you take Yannick Carrasco in the January window? By default, because our midfield, our wide options are quite poor. But for me, I'd steer clear of that one through no fault of his own. He's not a bad player, and he's definitely looking better than I thought when he came. I thought he would coming back from China. Big up yourself, Terry. Everyone, please make sure you're hitting the like button. I'm good, Terry, man. I'm here speaking with you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Feeling like Mr. 30K, and to see 300 of you in here already 16 minutes in, it's gassing me really and truly. It's making me feel proud, man. Really and truly. Big up AM as well, man. Bro, they haven't, but we're going to end up like Sunderland in that they went from the Premier League down into League One with no chance. That's what I mean. Forget the trophy business. I know we got trophies, but boy, big up Atlanta 7 a.m. So you lot having your Rice Krispies and whatnot while I'm here. It means a lot. However you're doing it, man. You got the Nottingham tugs in the building. Big up yourself, Matthew, as well. You know, always got love for the Nottingham people. Them big up Curtis Shaw as well. When I think of Nottingham, that's who I think of. I'll be on Curtis Shaw's channel later as well. So big up you lot. Make sure you're there as well. I really appreciate you guys. I know I've missed a super chat. Please add moderator, someone pattern that. I'm good, M. And you know, I think M's managed to find that one for me. Today's my birthday, G. Need some kitchen bars this life. Apologies, that was a dirty cough. I don't know for any bars, but happy birthday, Wayne. I appreciate your super chat. Happy birthday. Hope you got some Cali there. Hope you got some Henny there. Hope you got a beanie there and you can enjoy it, because Arsenal are not going to do anything for you. Really appreciate your support each and every time on my lives, and more life, my brother. Many more birthdays to come, man. More life to everyone in this as well, man. Elita said, you're just like Sanchez, a serial winner. Oh, you're just like Sanchez, a winner, deluded. Sorry. When I think of Alexis, I think of serial winner. I appreciate that. I try to be, you know, I always think no matter who you are in life, whether you're at the top end or the bottom, you should try and be the best you can be. You should simply try and be better than you was yesterday. And I think when you try and do that, you have half a chance. And I feel if everyone had that mindset at Arsenal, you know, we'd be in a better circumstance. You know, you can't control all the variables in life, but the things you can control, try and move forward. Like I try and move forward. Like I don't, you know, even if I can just make a tiny bit of percentage of work, you know, I used to be very frustrated if I didn't feel a sense of accomplishment day in, day out, if that makes sense. And then I had to realize, okay, cool. Am I closer to my goal today than I was yesterday? And I don't think Arsenal look at this thing like that. Big up the Singapore tugs. India's in the building, you know. India is crazy, man. It's crazy. A massive country like India. Someone's still finding time to watch my thing. Means a lot. On the Zen, North London tug. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. 30K gang. 30K gang. Raw. Took some time off work to hear DG, sane analysis and honest opinion from a hurting fan. Big up from sunny Dubai. Big up yourself, Arun, as well. And I hope, you know, I hope your work isn't too stressful and things like that. But yeah, man, I'm happy to know I can give you some content for as long as you're here, people, really and truly. Ahmad, of course, you're going to wake up feeling fine. My team lost, your team won. I appreciate that. And big up yourself. You know, it's quite a good live chat right now. Ahmad and all the moderators, I'm going to need you lot on top of your game. We've got Malaysia in the building. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, just did 12 hours on Amazon. It's crazy. You know, we've got the Northwest tugs in the building as well. OFB DG back again. I'm not too sure for any of that, but It is what it is, man. Drive up the likes button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I appreciate all your lovely comments um in relation to my thing. What's this? DG, do you not get tired of talking about the issues that surround Arsenal? It's training. Of course I do, but I signed up to this thing. Like, I signed up to make videos. I signed up to do live, so I can't feel sorry for myself and say I ain't making it. And there's plenty to talk about. And for me, what I've realized, no matter how poor Arsenal is, just by speaking with you guys, I'm not saying I feel better about the situation or anything, but it just makes me, it makes me feel kind of sane, people, really and truly. You lot are saying I missed the super chat, and although I can't scroll all the way back to bring it up, I can actually go to another tab and find that. Big up yourself for the super chat, my guy. You said, I honestly feel departures are more important at the moment. Edu, all his Kai signings, plus the Deadwood and Xhaka, plus Ozil need to go. They're both vital, man. They're both vital. They're both vital, but I 100% agree with what you're saying, my guy. I 100% agree with what you're saying and where you're getting at, people. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, man, big up all the Scottish tugs as well, man. Big up all the Scottish tugs as well. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's start. I was actually going to start with the Manchester City stuff, but let's actually start with the transfer rumors and all of those sort of things. So allow me to scroll down ever so slightly before I change screens and things like that. Let me make sure I zoom in, because I know a lot of you always, oh, DG, you're not zooming in enough, and the rest of it. So yeah, man, let me share my screen. Every player's got to be toxic, man. All of these players are toxic for me. All of them. The only ones I can say I don't think are toxic are Saka, Tierney, Partey, Gabriel, because even if they are, they're the only ones game in, game out I'm seeing with any sort of pride. So I don't care how toxic or not you are if you show me the business on the field. I hear all of these comments about David Luiz, but all my problems with David Luiz are things that have actually been in his game before he came to Arsenal. Like, he's been, at best, an extremely error-prone defender. He does go through good and bad moments. He isn't going to change at the period he is signing for Arsenal. So that's it. It's just the lapses of concentration. It's the typical Luiz things. It wasn't his mentality. I mentioned Luiz because, not to back him up, but you hear a lot of beef about he's on to Arteta. They're not seeing eye to eye, and he's been out of the team. Based on the game against Everton, I didn't see that. He could have very well laid over and said, I probably back myself to stay here longer than the manager. He put in a shift. So I'd say every player is toxic apart from them, because we go through the same thing, we go through the same thing where a new manager comes in, like with Emre. These same players say they fighting, they know what they need to do, this, that, and the other. And then, like you're seeing with Arteta now, and I'm not saying Arteta shouldn't face criticism, but these same players who are saying all of this sort of stuff, it's changed. So what's happened there? I think it's probably reaching. I hope Mustafi and Socrates could be moved on. Ozil's more or less said he's staying to the end of the season, or his advisors have. I'd like Xhaka to go, but really and truly, we're down to our bare minimum in midfield. So he's probably going to go in the summer. And obviously, we've got an injury and all of these sort of things, people. So I would like to see some movement, but I'm wary of disrupting the team and the rest of it. If I could have my way, Xhaka would go. But again, I'm not saying this to defend Xhaka. If Xhaka leaves, we're light in midfield. And now, is this club going to bring in a midfielder? We're going to get into it, but we see paper talk of people being backed and all of these sort of things. Whether they actually are backed is a different sort of kettle of fish, people. So yeah, man, big up yourself, Jay, as well, man. And that's it. I heard that as well. He tried to get him out of Chelsea, and that's where maybe Arteta. I'm looking at it. Maybe Arteta was on a breading thing. Maybe like with Ozil, with Emre, and that you come in. You don't want to step on too many toes and shake up too many trees. That was needed, and we saw that under Arteta to a degree. But, maybe he looked and he said, Ozil's a big dog in this dressing room. Luiz is a big dog. Let me kind of use them, make them feel vital, make them get them on side sort of thing, As you can see, Luiz already has got his teeth in, and in good ways and bad ways, you hear that as well. Maybe this season, a lot of what he was doing last season was short-term fixes. Maybe he's tried to change it up too much and really tell people where go on and where they stand. And maybe that's contributed to this thing right now, in which, if I say that, if you knew that you and Luiz don't see eye to eye and it's a bit political and things like that, why give him a new deal? Because again, people talk. Arteta can't have ears and eyes in the back of his head and be everywhere and listen. That's why your coaching staff, who are your eyes and ears when you can't, are important. That's why you need players on your side. Because let's just say you're off training and my man, let's just say Ozil said it. This guy's an idiot, man. I'm not listening to him. But this guy backs you and he goes, hey, Ozil, shut up. Why didn't come out of training? Arteta knows his thing. That's the sort of thing we need to be at. That's the sort of thing we need to get at. So yeah, man. But let's see what I've got. I'm going to share my screen, people. Big up the 400 odd of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Every like button helps the guy be seen by more people. I see there's 185 likes and there's 402 of you in there. Come on, you lot are violating, man. We can't even get 200 likes. Come on, man. You lot are taking a mickey, man. Hit the like button. If you're new here, you know the thing. You got to subscribe. You know you've tuned into the real. But let me share screen and let's get into some other business, people. Share screen. What tab do I want it to be? I want it to be this Manchester City tab, like you lot can see now. Obviously, like I said, we're here for time. That's the City preview. You know, we got the loan report with the young G's them, and you've got my comments in relation to Arsenal's under 18s against Rotherham and whatnot. You know, big up Charlie Patino for his outrageous strike. Amari Hutchinson terrorized them as well. James Sweet played well in my opinion, as did Flores and Kiddo Hart Taylor. Big up Agongbo as well. I'm pretty sure he gave away a penalty, if I can remember off the top of my head, before obviously scoring the winner. There was a lot of drama in that game. So like I said, we got a lot to speak about. You know, I didn't get that one. A lot of you was talking to me about Arteta said something about expected goals and all of those sort of business or something among that. So we'll have to see, you know, what that one is. So we're going to get into it. We've got a lot to get into. As you can see, I've misspelled Bellerin. I'm just looking at you lot's messages. Stop violating. Stop taking a mickey. Press the like button. Of course, big up yourself. Hit the like button. Big up all the tugs in South Africa as well. Let's get into it now, people. Let's get into it. So what have I got first in terms of these rumours, people? Arsenal plan Arteta funds to save a relegation battle. Let me do that. I'm well aware that it's probably going to, you know, can it stop the screen, change that up? This is really annoying that it does this, man. I need to get, when the wire for my second monitor comes, people, we're going to move patterns, people, in this thing. But yeah, this is the Daily Mail. You know me, I don't like to give praise or whatnot to certain publications, but I've actually met Sammy Mockbell and he's a cool guy, people. He's a very, very cool guy. So let's get into it. Mikel Arteta will be backed in January's transfer window despite increasing pressure on the boss, with Gunners set to prioritise a creative midfielder as they look to pull clear of the relegation zone. And I know many people will say, what does he deserve to be backed for? I hear that many people, we all can concede the squad isn't good enough, the tools aren't good enough, but you know, we haven't seen a system, we haven't seen many things in place to say, yo, he gets certain players, he can do something else, or even that he deserves it. I believe that. The club need it. Whether Arteta's going to be here, you know, these same problems have been here under Emre. And to be fair, managers are quite disposable, or especially someone like Arteta. When you've got Carlo and Jose who are coming in and on big contracts, it's not. But you've got someone like Arteta. He can be disposed, so I get that. My thing is not that I want Arteta to go or stay. I would like Arteta to turn it around. Who wouldn't want Arsenal's fortunes to turn around, you know? The only people that don't want Arteta to turn it around is just, I told you so. People that believe in him to the high heavens, to the point where you're deluded and not seeing where he's going wrong, or people that never liked Donny from the start, which I'm not saying is wrong. You want him to fail. I want him to turn it around, but you know, I support Arsenal. I don't care if he's not the man to turn it around. He needs to be moved on. But my thing is this, and I'm not saying this in terms of this is a reason to keep Arteta. Arsenal are reactive across all aspects, as you lot see on the football field, transfers, you know, new contracts and everything. So how can I expect us to be proactive in relation to Arteta? If you sack Arteta and you've got this next manager who knows the thing, do it. And again, I'm not saying this to keep Arteta, but you sack Arteta today, what happens tomorrow? Is there a plan? Is there a new manager lined up? Is there, you know, targets lined up irrespective of the manager? Or are we going to keep doing what we're doing, is freestyling? And considering the fact of we've had many changes of the boardroom and novices and everyone getting their feet wet in the club now, and, you know, new processes, we've already gone through that nonsense. I think that nonsense has contributed to a crap start to the season beyond what Arteta can control. So why would we do that nonsense again? Again, if there's a plan, if there is a coach out there that's ready and we've done our due diligence and we think he's a better fit, by all means, pull the trigger. You know, you can't back Arteta right now. I wanted to turn it around, but just for my club, you know, and that's what I hate with football today, in this day and age. You know, too many men are loyal to, listen, I'm a big Thierry Henry fan. If Thierry Henry was the manager, I'd probably be a lot more biased and stay back him, but I support the club. You know, Arteta isn't a legend, so I can't understand why there's this ridiculous love for him, and I can't understand why there's this ridiculous pardon me, hate, you know. So I don't mind what happens in relation to him. But either way, Arsenal, listen, regardless, before Arteta came in, the same areas needed to be addressed. And that's what's annoying me. But as you can see, I'm trying to find the meat of the article, people. Apparently, funds will be made available to Arteta to strengthen the team when the market reopens, with a creative midfielder a priority for the Gunners. As we all know, January is a notoriously tough time to do business. You know, we've got the COVID, we've got Arsenal's direct failings on the field contributing, off it in that, you know, Europa League, there's less of a purse string. You know, we've got mismanagement of wages. We can't move off players. They're mediocre. We're hoping until the summer at least. So what sort of business can be done? And this is where I'm going to get at Arsenal, because for us, we're just waking up. We're looking in December and saying we need to sign one. But as I said in a previous live stream, the minute that we signed Partey and it became apparent that we couldn't get an hour or this next target in, that work should have, or the building blocks in December or in October, whenever the window finished, should have been put into place and the wheels in motion to who you're going to sign now. You've had 2-3 months to find out who you're signing, to find second and third choice targets, because that was my pet peeve when it didn't look like we was going to get Aura or Partey in that. Listen, I love having Partey regardless of the injuries. I would have loved Aura, and definitely based on how Lyon are playing now, he scored the other day as well. But if you can't get them, get the profile. You know, can you get another box-to-box midfield? Can you get another creative number 8 sort of guy? You know, whether that's from Brazil because of Edu, whether that's using the scouting thing, you know, whether that's buying locally. I don't see a plan. That's why 9 times out of 10, when these players come here, there's no framework. And this is more so what I was going to speak about later, but the article's gone on to say there are growing concerns that a number of discontented players within the playing group are pushing further problems for the Spaniard that run deeper than the difficulties he's having to cope with on the field. The vast majority of the squad remain fully behind Arteta and believe some of the problems he has faced are inevitable for a team in transition, which is also true, but there's been no system. There's been bewildering selections. There's been bewildering man management issues. You know, one rule for one rule for another. Quite frankly, sounding deluded off the field with some of the comments he's coming out with. He's talking about luck. He seems like a man that doesn't have the answers. He seems like a man that doesn't know what he's on about. He seems like a man that doesn't know where the club is going. And I hope this is all wrong, but I love my football club and I call it how I see it. The crucial thing for him is that the vast majority are behind him. But also the scary thing is it only takes one bad egg to spoil the rest of the batch, really and truly, people. You know, if you're baking a cake and you put in 6 or 7 good eggs and you've cracked one and you see it's rotten, then you can't have the cake no more, which is Arsenal. It only takes a couple bits of poison to get affected. And one by one, like dominoes, even your most loyal supporters in this team, they will turn on you. So again, I think a lot of it comes with what he's doing on the tactics front. A lot of it is with the bewildering changes. You know, I do think Arteta inherited a mess and there's been a lot of things thrown his way that even managers more experienced than him would struggle, but he hasn't helped himself and he will lose these players. You know, he will lose it. You can see the growing discontent. Players are fighting among themselves. And that's where I get onto the players, because I don't care if you're behind the manager. You lot said you was behind Emery. You said you was behind Arteta. You said you was behind Lombard. You know, you said you was behind several managers. Fix up now, because you lot keep getting pillars to hide behind. And that's what annoys me. Hide behind Wenger, hide behind Gazidis, fuck Gazidis for what it's worth, you know, hiding behind many different things, even hiding behind other players, because even William was poor, you know, William was trash, yet again against Everton, but the focus is on William. We're even talking about Bellerin more because of Maitland-Niles' good game. You know, what is being said on Thingy on Onene and Ceballos? Obviously, man, are talking about them, but you get the point. What is being said about Eddie? Now, I'm not encouraging witch hunts. I'm just encouraging keeping it true and whatnot, people. And for me, the most damning thing is, you know, I could, as a fan, I can only assume that Saka, you know, Gabriel, Tierney, you know, David Luiz, based on the Everton game, they're the only man, Maitland-Niles, they're the only man I could say are fighting for you, because I never saw a fight with other men. I'm seeing players hide, midfielders hiding and things like that, and that's not a good way to go. That's not encouraging. That's not going to help anyone. Big up everybody locked in, people. 459 of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, we're transitioning, but if you're going to transition, you need a system. You need intention. You need players to fit into a free roll, and it's not happening there, people, really and truly. There's no planning for what we're doing. You know, big up yourself, Shams, as well. Been a subscriber when Deluded had 2,000 subs and used to record in a park. Enough respect to you, bro. You all remember the pigeons and them things there, man. You know, there's crazy, man. Tom Mills saying you're a weapon, love your graft. That's all we got, my guy, man. That's all we got, man. That's all we got. You know, if we don't grind, we don't shine, man. Big up everyone. Please hit the like button. And I was actually going to change the screens, but at the risk of talking about the same things twice, people, I'm sure a lot of you caught that little thing up here. Where is it? All of you that were eagle-eyed. Where is it? It was something about, yeah. And I heard a lot of this going around. This might have been in relation to his press conference today. I want to assume I'm still on the right page with you guys. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Yes, we are. Come out of here, man. I don't need no ads, man. Move. Move. Anyways, people, scrolling down. I want relegation fighters, not victims. That's true. You know, and this is a rally cry. Clearly, like I said, it's a rally cry. As usual, we're not going to waste time. We're going to just skip to the relevant bits, people. You know, what has he actually said? Arteta has conceded that relegation is a real threat in a stark warning to his underperforming players, whom he urged to be fighters and not victims. He said, I like to look around me, whether it's staff, coaches, and players. I want to see fighters. I can't lie, Arteta. We've been talking about that for time, and you've been just defending these players' nonsense. These players can't fight. Some of them can, small minority, literally 3-4. Some of them won't, whether they believe in you, the club, they run it, they're taking it a mockery. Some of them can't fight. Some of them don't know how to fight. Some of them have never looked adversity in their life, seen, you know, a fate that they don't want for themselves head on and said, you know what, I'm not accepting this, I'm taking it on. It seems like we're resigned to defeat. It's like there's a boat going off the cliff and we're just on the boat resigned to defeat. We're not trying to swim against the current. We're not trying to hold on to no rocks. We're not trying to do nothing sort of thing. We're out of it, you know. And at the same time, Arteta, I don't think you can be blamed for everything, but ultimately, for the players, their lack of fight, or when they have fight, it's a reflection of you. Because when we was playing against Chelsea, remember his first game at the Emirates, I could be wrong, where man was saying, yo, the players threw it away after a couple minutes, or, you know, against United where we almost threw it away, or in the many FA Cup ones, you know, that was a reflection of you. There was fight, there was intention. I saw protagonists, I saw players buying into something. Maybe you was just a beacon of hope in which was a woeful season, but it's all gone. And that's why I always say you've got to evolve, you've got to adapt, you've got to survive. You know, Arteta was like a new toy at Arsenal. You know, everyone was like, what's he about? Pep this, Pep that. Everything was probably innovative. Then after a while, it becomes normal and players probably become bored. I have to question the coaching staff because, again, I see it at other clubs. It don't look like our coaching staffs are proactive. I'm seeing one guy with earpods and then he's got the headphones. You know, I'm not really seeing anything too tough, people. And like he said, oh, is it frozen? Oh, fuck's sake. Apologies, people. We seem to have... Yeah, people, I'm back. I don't know what the hell happened there, man. What the fuck, man? YouTube just trying to kill off man's thing each and every time, people. I appreciate you locked in. I'm sorry for that, people. I don't know what happened there, man. And I think what happened there summed up Arsenal stuff. But like I was saying, people, let me reshare the screen and whatnot with you guys. Apologies for that. I really apologize for that. You know me, I never tried to do any of that. It really annoys me when things like that happen, people. But yeah, like I was saying, or better yet, like I said to you, you know, it's a reflection of the manager. When we was looking good in the cup games and things, it was a reflection. Now we're seeing what it's like, and this is why you've got to be innovative. And I think there's been an air of complacency clearly in Arteta's game or in Arteta's management. I think with Arsenal, we personally assume that with Arteta, with all our problems are fixed defensively, all our problems are fixed in terms of mentality. And again, it was only a small sort of sample that we saw last season. And like it says here, everybody has played a part in this, you know, 46 years, you know, we're lingering over that. And like he said, Victims just bring excuses and negativity. They need to start blaming everything that is happening around them or that is not going for them. And that's what I've said. And Arteta, I'm not going to lie, you have sounded like a victim. You have spoken about luck. You have spoken about possession. You have spoken about we've crossed it and the team has sat back and done several things. You haven't shown good enough in that regards. It hasn't been good enough in that regards, and it hasn't helped anyone really and truly. So he has to take blame for that, people, really. There's no one else but that, people. I appreciate you guys as well. I appreciate you guys as well for staying tuned in, with them technical difficulties. People, you're going to have to give me 1 sec because, I had to restart the whole of Google Chrome. And it's actually done stupid things like even changing the thumbnail. This is the sort of technology crap you have to put up with, people. Once in the blue moon, as you see, it does you dirty, and now it's probably messed it up for when I actually want to thingy, people. Clip it up for those of you that can't be in this live stream, but we go again, man. We go again. And for me, I like what Arteta is saying in isolation, but it's not holding up for me personally because you're being a hypocrite. But I like that. Like I said, like I've been saying, winners take accountability and victims blame people. If these players took accountability in themselves, we wouldn't be where we are. And in that sense, what I mean by that is if I'm a player, yeah, the lack of spending is not on me. The lack of coaching is not on me. But I'm going to look at what I can do to have a better performance. What can I do? If I'm a centre half, how have I played a part? Wingers, how have I played a part? Strikers, how have I played a part in this negativity? Because when we're winning, this is what I hate about Arsenal Football Club. When we're winning, we want to do all this talk and all this dialogue. And you see, even El Nene, when El Nene played well against City, against United, what did you see? The Arsenal people clipped up a damn video of every touch that man took. He played poor against Everton and he's played poor the last 3 games in the spin. What's been said? We're not honest. We're not honest. And until we're honest, we can't improve, people. We can't go anywhere, we really can't. And like he's saying, when you are in this position and you have the points we have at the moment, we have to look and be careful because we haven't been a lot of time in this position. And that's facts, you can't assume that you're too good to go down or that you're going to immediately trickle up the table. You need to deal with mentally what is in front of us, and that's relegation right now. And he also said, if I start to read all the comments, whether they are positive or negative, they would drive me mad. My suggestion to every player is the same. All the time it happens with social media. The atmosphere at the club is as good as it can be when we're all hurting. And maybe that's the problem. It's too comfortable. Maybe you need some noise from the outside. He also said everybody is worried and everybody is suffering at the moment because we want much more. The unity is there. Is there 100% unity around the club? It's impossible in any club, even when you win, because players who aren't participating are always more difficult. And what does that potentially tell you? That obviously there can be unhappy players, but indirectly he said it's impossible. So is there a couple people even above Arteta and the coaching staff that don't necessarily believe in what's happening? Is there players already that have told him straight up, we're not messing with this? And he also said, within the club, my feeling is just to support and encourage and total confidence we're going to get through this together. So that's what it is. And also, if you don't know, we will be without Aubameyang against. We will be lacking with it. We will be without Aubameyang against Manchester City, people. So yeah, like you said, it's all just breeze, bro. It's just all breeze. It's all just hot air. It's all just good comments, man. It just sounds wavy, and that's about it, man. It don't make sense. There's always going to be I'd be surprised, in any walk of life, there isn't a group of in work. Not everyone's going to pull in the same direction, but you need those guys to be small and beyond, people. It's crazy. Come, we get the likes up, people. Come on, man. Omar isn't happy with that. Man said shoot up Google Chrome. I don't think it's that deep, my guy, but yeah, man, it's jarring. I appreciate that. Keep the comments coming, people. I'm loving the engagement. So yeah, man, that's what that article said, and I think it sounds good in isolation, but apart from that, it don't really do much for me as an Arsenal fan, people. I'm going to share the screen again in a second. Let's get up the next article. So what have we spoken about? In fact, share the screen, man. Share screen. Application window. Will it do it like this? That's just mad weird, man. Nah, see, that's the way I want to do it, but it's not happening. Share screen. Let's go back to the Google, good old Google Docs, people. Good old Google Docs. Like you can see, we're back again with the Google Docs. Obviously, having to restart the application meant I had to do that. So let's go down. So we've spoken about, what was the first one? That's actually been the first port of call for us. moving away from that, though, apparently there's a crisis in the dressing room. So let's see exactly what's being said in these regards. Is it still okay? Once you change up the tab, oh, it ain't even done that for me. Full screen layout, allow that, man. Stop screen. All right, there's got to be an easier platform to use, man, where I can just do this thing freely. But either way, you're gonna have to bear with me as I change screens, people. Next article, people. Toxic dressing room. We just spoke about, some of you been spoken, and I've just spoken about, there's players in the dressing room that might be turning and things. And we all assume I don't want to say the names, but we always assume it's the players that aren't playing, the players that are making the headlines. What if it's the players that are playing game in, game out, and they're the ones that say, Arteta, we're doing this week in, week. I don't believe in Donny. I'm not believing. What if it is Gabriel? What if it's Gabriel, Tierney, Saka, Leno, for example? Again, I don't, whether the players are playing or not, whether they're good or not, I don't advocate speculation because it's not sensible. But we can't always assume it's the players who aren't playing. I know. Indirectly, you heard it. You kind of heard him allude it to that it could be the players who aren't playing, but I'm not too sure on that. Moving away from that, apparently, Arsenal's toxic dressing room is adding to Mikel Arteta's headache as the Gunners face their worst start since 1974-75. As you lot know, it's made it 7 games without a win from Mikel Arteta's side. You'd have to go back to the start of November when we last won. And as usual, you were going to see the PR probably come out by the club. It's no coincidence that it is certain article journalists from the Daily Mail and also David Ornstein and people you could say are mouthpieces of Arsenal that have come out and given this bullish chat about we're looking for creative, man, we're doing this and that. It was predictable in the same way it was predictable these sort of articles would come out, people. So yeah, apparently the Mirror have reported that several players are frustrated at not playing alongside big characters like Mesut Ozil and Socrates after their exclusion from the Premier League and Europa League squads. Apparently Arteta did, however, respond to claims that he had lost the respect of his players last week. He said, "I've said it many times, when you have a squad that we have at the moment, for many circumstances, it is impossible to have 31 happy players. It's impossible, and I don't know any club in the world that has that. But obviously, when you lose, again, these things are going to come out to try and put more pressure on and be disruptive. I'm not interested in any of that." And there is truth in that, people. But there's also truth in the fact that you're failing. And I wouldn't be surprised if certain players aren't believing because, they've got to believe what's happened there. If I look at Ozil, the way he was playing under him before the lockdown and now, Pepe's end to the season and now, Aubameyang, what's happened until now, Saliba, the chat of how you're coming into the team until now. Do you get it? William consistently playing when other players aren't getting chances. I can't understand it. And I'm not going to read over that, but it's just the same old generic chat, people. And it doesn't look like there's anything of substance really and truly within this article, people, if I'm completely honest. So let's click on the mirror. It just seems like somebody wanted clicks. Not that I do like doing this with you guys because it makes it more, what's the word? Interactive and that, but it also makes it deader really and truly. So let me, at the risk of this, remove, share the next screen, stop the screen, share the next screen. Let's share up the next screen, Google tab. And let's see this, people. I believe this is the Mirror. This is the Mirror. As you know, people, it's not nice reading, but Arsenal fans, we are 15th. Crazy, isn't it? Apparently, Mikel Arteta is facing a deepening crisis because of a toxic dressing room. Arsenal are determined to stick with under pressure Mikel Arteta and give him time to turn the club's fortunes around, with the majority of players still on side. But the backdrop is that there are fractions within the squad, which is making it difficult for Arteta to manage and is being seen as one of the reasons for the slump in form, which has left Arsenal in fear of relegation. Arsenal have a large group of players and some are unhappy at not playing with the likes of Mesut Ozil and Socrates, who are big characters and personalities, but were not even included in the Premier League and Europa League squads. And I think that was a sign of his inexperience because at least in Ozil's case, Emre, ultimately it was his demise, but he at least covered himself with that glory. Ozil has been publicly supportive on social media, but the club's biggest star and earner is not even eligible to play. And there's obviously injuries to Aubameyang and Partey. And if I was Partey, I'd be thinking, what the hell's going on as well? Because you've risked me and I'm now injured and out, and you've disrupted my settling in period. Apparently he's got the faith of these players, people, and I'm sure many of you really and truly I mean, it doesn't matter who has the faith for Bellerin, but I do think Bellerin's a big voice in the dressing room, which is probably a problem. Apparently, that is seen as one of the issues because the dressing room has become difficult to manage while there are glaring gaps in the squad. They are almost certain to have a big clear out next summer, as you lot know. And it's reiterated that the club's hierarchy are to back Arteta in January. And we've been linked with Isco on a loan move. I wouldn't mind that, but it would be very much Arsenal. The majority of Arsenal players regard Arteta as a good coach, even if they see him as very intense. And there has been disquiet in the way he has dealt with some players. That's true. So I believe that's it in that regards to that one there, people. So yeah, man, it's a bit of, all the articles are coming out today, aren't they, folks? Aren't they, folks, people? The articles are getting out there really and fast. Big up the 400 odd people locked in. Please make sure I'm not missing any super chats, moderators, because I just see one. Big up yourself. Love your analysis, in depth, and well researched, not reactionary drama like AFTV. You're such a refreshing choice for the fans. I really appreciate you. Hey, man, there's some AFTV people who are decent, man, but I do get the vast majority are just on shouting and carrying on and things like that, and it is what it is. Big up the 485 people in here. We've recovered the people that we lost initially, people. Actually, let me close a couple apps. Maybe that's why, because I'm just scared that Chrome is going to act again, people. So there we go. And we're back. So yeah, man, for me personally, I get it. You know, I've got it in for the players. Like Arteta needs to go as well by this logic. But at the same time, the players have got to go as well, because they can't keep doing this. You can't keep breading the manager and then saying, oh, I don't believe in him and all of this and that and the other. It's not making any sense. These players are prima donnas. It makes no sense, people. It really makes no sense. So it wouldn't surprise me. Look at where we are as a team. It wouldn't surprise me if some men are divided. Some men believe in Arteta. Some men never believed in Arteta. Some men are now turning against him because we're not seeing anything. And it must be jarring to play in that, people. It must be jarring to play in that. Actually, I'm moving ahead of time because that article there, you know, I've actually spoken about it already. The key one, apparently, you know, is the people are going to back Arteta in the transfer window, and we heard you're going to back him in this window. You know, we keep hearing back. If you've made him your manager and not your head coach, spend some decent peas, really and truly. Let's share the screen and see what this one now is, people. Share screen. Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke has January transfer plan to ease Mikel Arteta's sack pressure. Let's see, people. Apparently, the ailing Gunners have lost 8 of their 14 Premier League matches this season, sit on just 14 points and trail behind leaders Liverpool 17 points with a 12-point gap to 4th place Everton. You know, as you lot see, we're in dire form. We've scored just 1 open play goal in our last 10 games, and we've only scored 12 times overall and conceded 18, which tells you we're underperforming with the level of strikers we have, whether you believe in them or not. There's no DNA, which again is on Mikel Arteta. Our level or the level of improvement allegedly in relation to our defending is extremely overrated. But yeah, let's see if there's any substance. Again, it's still talking about Ozil. We know what's going on with Ozil. We know there's a poor season. We know actually only West Brom and Sheffield United, both in the relegation zone, have had less key passes per match than Arsenal. And we're also 18th out of 20 teams in terms of shots attempted per game, with 5 less than Liverpool per 90 than Liverpool. Again, I'm looking for the bulk of it. Apparently, you know, the media people just bum sucking each other. Apparently, the Daily Mail said he'll be back. So more or less the same thing that happened with us, people, really and truly. And again, mismanagement. I'm not saying Marie was a poor signing, but you shelled out 14 million for him in allegedly a season where we're under financial issues and he's nowhere near the first team. You know, could that 14 million have done something more for somebody else? I'm not sure. And this is where I mean about we're reactive and not proactive in all our approaches, people. This article is doing nothing for me. It's just telling us the obvious. It's told us statistically about stuff. You know, it's told us statistically about things. You know we need a creative midfield. I don't know why it's talking about Kevin De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes or Jack Grealish. We know we're in for Asamoah one. We know they want 15 million. We also know Szoboszlai went to Leipzig. So I'm not too sure how any of this is helping us, people. You know, former Feyenoord man we was linked with signed a new 5-year deal. I'm trying to see if there's anything of relevance. You know, at the end it said, well, Our said, honestly, I'm not looking at the transfer window. I'm here. I try to improve on a personal level. I will try to have the best of seasons. And it is for him. If he has the best of seasons and continues how he is, he is going to get that move that he wants to Juventus or whatever. And I hope Arsenal be back involved. He's going to get playing for the Euros. So he's not going to leave Lyon mid-season. If he does, it'll be a miracle. But I don't think it'd be smart. And I'm not too sure if Arsenal put the P's on the line, people. He said, we don't know what could happen tomorrow, but I'm very motivated to bring the most to the team. Again, this article told us absolutely F all, people, really and truly. It's just sound bites and good chat and whatnot, people. It's not helping us. It's not bringing anything to the table. Like it's that was a waste of time bringing that one in it, really and truly. Where did we gain from there? Let's pre this one now, people. Where they're speaking about Allegri allegedly. There's talk of Allegri coming to the club. Whether he joins is a new thing, is another thing, but we'll have to see. Let me share the screen for you lot, and we'll go through this one as well, people. Let's see what this one is saying. Share screen. Big up the 519 of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Also, people, please make sure you're checking out the pinned message. As you know, tomorrow is Arsenal versus Manchester City, and I'll be doing a live watch along. So, the information is in the pinned tweet. Go and open up a new tab. Hit the reminder on that one. Also, drop a like. Every like gets us higher and higher in the recommended, people. It means a world to me with that. We're at 388 likes. There's 500 odd of you in here. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Come on, it doesn't cost a thing. But let's get into it. I don't care about Bacardi. It ain't Ciroc or Hennessy. So I don't really care about the adverts going on. And I damn well don't care about you lots. I need to download ad blocker or something, man. Use this. Dead. Hey, man, pause that, because you're probably what's making my thing freeze. Forget all of that, people. But apparently, Allegri may already be planning to replace Arteta. And I'm not too sure how keen Allegri is. Don't get it twisted. I think he would listen to the job. I think he would want to come to Arsenal. But again, it's like Carlo and Jose. When it gets to the nuts and bolts of it, and you look at how poor this team is, and you've got a mixture of bad players, not only bad players, but bad players who are in bad habits, and players that can't be sold for resale value. Money, to a degree, is the only way that's going to take you out of it. Spending properly, but money. If I'm Allegri, I can't go from chasing the Champions League and having them standards at Juventus and trying to get that to, I need a centre-half. You're saying you can't give me 35 million. I need to try and swap Mustafi. Why would I want to risk my CV? Because, it does look good. You say you managed in the Prem and things, but surely if you in the Prem, if you're waiting for jobs, you're potentially waiting for thingy. You're waiting to see what happens at Man United. You're probably waiting to see what happens even at City. I know Pepper signed a new deal, but could he always walk? Again, I'd say that the random one, I'd say, are people even waiting on Jurgen Klopp? And I say this because for me, Jurgen Klopp's going to be at Liverpool for a while. But as you know, he's achieved a lot. He's probably going to retain the title after winning Champions League. And he speaks about wanting rest in the Germany stuff. Could that be something? And I know he signed a new deal, but could that be something that stops? Do you get it? So I do think there's a lot more better jobs than the Arsenal one. As much as I love my club, it's just mainly the finances. And I don't think, if I'm Allegri, why come and be the fool guy? As you lot know, we're winless in the Premier League, and it's extended to a 7th match day already. Apparently, Allegri may be coming up, maybe already planning. Apparently, in December last year, we already knew that he was doing English lessons. But he said, I'm already taking lessons here in Milan. I managed to speak quite well. I find the listening part a bit difficult. Said, if I try to talk to someone who helps me out by speaking a little slower than I understand, I watch films in English, and if I read something in English, I understand it fine. Apparently, this was one of the reasons Allegri was allegedly overlooked the last year. I mean, Bielsa is not speaking any English. He's got he might do, but he's got his translator. Nothing is happening in that regards. You look at Pochettino initially at Southampton, Again, I don't necessarily mind that. Of course, the language is important, and one thing that's why I'm onto Arteta even more about his communicational channels, because apparently he can speak French. He obviously can speak English and Spanish, and I'm pretty sure there's another language he can speak. So there's many different communicational channels. So it tells me that whatever you're telling them is just not hitting home, people. So yeah, there is nothing in this article really and truly, people. This is just Alan Smith's opinions. Apparently, big up former striker Alan Smith, but there's nothing hardcore in these rumors about Allegri joining the club. So it's not making sense to me personally, people. I'm gonna share a next article in a sec. So we've heard we've read through article talks about we're being backed, but we're not seeing any rumors of a figure or players we're going for. Speaking about Allegri, but apart from Allegri can speak better English, and that was one of the reasons for him not and he's not joining Arsenal. Then I can't see any substance to these things, people. They're not making much sense. Either way, man, let's remove that, stop screen, share screen. Let's run the next one. Apparently, Edu sent Mikel Arteta sack message as Everton lost mounts pressure on boss. Not too sure. Okay, so again, stop bringing out things that I don't have any credibility, man. But apparently, Carragher said for Arsenal to get back to where they want to be, they'll have to go through a lot of pain, and they will do. A couple of signings they made this season in Partey and Gabriel, they could be a big part of the years to come, but they need a few more players in January. If Mikel can get 6 or 7 in that, he can be judged on the job he's doing. And 6 or 7 players in January, I think we're hoping. And also, what will we talk about? They need to adapt. They need to do all of this, and it's all mid-season. So I'm not too sure what that will happen. Arteta's spoken on being sacked. Apparently, it's something that the day I decided to be coach, I know that one day I'll be sacked or to leave the football club. I don't know if it's a day after I sign my contract, in a month's time, in a year, or 6 months' time. I never worry about it. My only concern is to get the best out of the players, give the best possible service to the club, and become better and better. I know I repeat, in this profession, one day I'll get the sack or leave, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, people. But until then, it's all worse, and it's just simply all worse. If we look at the Daily Mail, we can't look at anything because I just deleted it. But if we go again, people, if we quickly delete that and we share screen again, stop sharing screen, start sharing screen again. Big up the 500 odd of you in here, people. It means a lot. It says the page is missing. Well, I can't share that one, people. Apparently, there's rumors of Maxi Gomez coming to Arsenal. I've seen those rumors before, and we've spoken about them before. So I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to waste any more time on them, people. There's rumors around Hector Bellerin. Let's quickly look at that, people. Bellerin. What minute am I talking about this? Because I want to clip it up for you guys. So we was an hour or so in when I spoke about Hector Bellerin. One Hector Bellerin. So yeah, man, let me share up the screen. Big up you lot in the comments. Please make sure you're hitting the comment section, people. Don't know, big up yourselves. I've not been giving you lot any attention for a sec, so let me see what you lot are saying, people. You've been going heavy. Please make sure you hit the like button. Deluded looks broken. Psst. Arsenal will do that to you, my guy, man. It is all clickbait, my guy, really and truly. It's just looking like was. It's all looking like was. Send Deluded some ideas for ad blockers. Trust me, we're going to get on the ad blockers in a bit, man. Like you said, money talks, bro. Big up the Kenyan tugs in here. Please hit the like button. I don't know about Deserano over Henny, my guy. You're bugging out. I thought he was a man of the culture. Not too sure of that. Big up yourself, M. Bro, that's a criminal shout, man. I should put you on time. Man said Deserano over Henny. What kind of joke, man, thing are you on? Man, come on, man. Reflect the Henny, man. Respect the Henny. Are you crazy? That threw me off. A man said that over Henny. Are you mad? You're bugging out. But moving forward, people, away from, and I thought I was deluded. Man said, come on, man. It's not looking good in England right now. Third of hospitals in England have more COVID patients than the first wave peak. Hector Bellerin, people. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would like to see the back of him. I would. I've given up on Bellerin. I was going to give him this one season under Arteta, and there has been some improvement, but they're too far and beyond. He shows you patches of playing well. He's up there for assists from defenders. Played well against Sheffield United, but I just haven't seen it. Bellerin isn't the modern day fullback. He is in the sense of he's a failed winger, but he doesn't look like a threat down that side. He hasn't got a good partnership with any of the wingers, in my opinion. He's not switched on and solid defensively, and he's got a lot of bad habits in that regards. He's not a threat in a going forward sense. He's extremely naive. He hasn't improved. Yes, he's had injuries, but he hasn't improved. And I just find we're still saying the same things about Bellerin that we were when he was 18. He's not 18 anymore. He's 25, turning 26. And for someone that's vice captain, someone that apparently was a big voice in the dressing room when we talk about, pulling the team together and the wage cuts and all of these sort of things, I don't see it on the field. I rate that he's a leader off it, but I need to see leaders on it. And I think one of two things. I think if Bellerin is one of the biggest voices in this team and seen as a vice captain, I think that tells you all the problems we have as a football team. Really and truly, it tells you all the problems if that is the case. If people are looking to Hector Bellerin for advice or to be a leader or feel he's one of the strongest characters, that's telling you things. And I think it also he sums up how mediocre Arsenal have been: minimal improvement and a lot of lip service. And there was a time none of us wanted him to leave, but apparently we rejected PSG, we rejected Barcelona previously, apparently Bayern Munich. You hear rumors how he wants to leave and things like that. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe Bellerin, if you go to a Barcelona or one of these teams that I think you're punching joining, the penny might drop and you might become a player. You might sit there and go, whoa, what happened to Bellerin? But I just think in this situation, it's not going to happen. And I just think Bellerin stinks of complacency. There's 3 fullbacks now. Maitland-Niles played very well against Everton in a defeat. There's every chance that he keeps his spot in the team for City. Apologies, but I'm sure a lot of you agree. There's every chance he potentially could be dropped, which tells you, the fuckery really and truly. Cedric, we don't know what's going on, but I see when I see 3 right backs, I would have thought there would have been more opportunities and more competition. Bellerin still got a free run. He's always had a free run at that. Off the top of my head, when did Bellerin have direct competition like that at fullback? Maybe when there was a little Debussy there. And how did that work out? And again, there's elections going on at Barcelona, so we have to be careful when presidents like former President Laporta come out and say things. I can't imagine Bellerin is a signing that's going to get people going. For Bellerin, I think he should go. You're a Barcelona guy. Why wouldn't you want to turn down the chance to play there? Obviously, Barcelona and Arsenal, there's no contest. There's a chance to play with Messi, who might beat you up if you play how you play. Like I said, the penny might drop for him at another club. I would, 22 million, I'd probably take that. I think that's a good, maybe push it more to 30, but I think that would be decent, man. Is what it is. He could leave with his head held high. He came here a boy. He leaves as a man. He's won a couple of FA Cups. I do think he's had good form and been scapegoated, but it's time to go, man. And what better than to return home? Apparently, sources in Spain say an agreement is already in place between Bellerin and, him and Bellerin's representatives to try to negotiate a deal with Arsenal that would see the right back return to the club with whom he began his youth career. Personally, I would like Bellerin to go at the end of the summer. I think we have to keep him until January, whether I rate him or not, because again, I would like Xhaka to leave. But if you let Xhaka and another centre mid go and you don't bring one in, what is that about our squad? Bellerin, for me, it's Maitland-Niles. But if you let him go, you let Bellerin go, Maitland-Niles gets an injury, Cedric plays. What happens if Cedric gets injured? We're going to have to try something else. Probably have to look at Reece Nelson there. He arrived there at 16. He's 25 years of age. He's made over 200 appearances. He's captained the team. He's won FA Cups. You should be what Tierney has done. You should be that. We shouldn't talk about right back. And crucially, he's open to rejoining. He's contracted until 2023. So really, there is other priorities, and maybe we're in a stronger negotiating position, because I know we need to be careful of, just because we want him gone doesn't mean we should accept anything. Can we push that to 30 million? So I'll take 22, but if we can push that to 30, then I'm all for that, man. Because, right back shouldn't be an area we're talking about consistently. Look at Tierney, he's coming and he shut things up about that. Apparently, Laporta initially wanted to do a deal while the transfer window is open next month, but Bellerin has rejected any notion of moving mid-season, and Barca must now wait until this season is over. And to be fair, Bellerin, you're not going to the Euros anyways with Spain, but he's been called up recently, and I'm sure a part of that's in his mind. I'll bite your hand off to take Hector Bellerin. Like I can't wait for Hector Bellerin to depart this club. Really, man said fight at merchant. He's talking about him or Lacazette. I rate Monluis, and he can play at fullback, but he's a centre half. Big up Zayn Monluis. He's a centre half with a big future, in my humble opinion. Cedric might not be good enough, but again, neither is Bellerin. We need to give other man chances in the squad. I would like to buy in a thingy. Buy in another fullback, of course, but I think we just got to go for it. Man said Deseranos for Gyal. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, man. Oh, everything new is needed. Everything new is required, man. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. So, yeah, man, we've had the nonsense. We've had the nonsense. let's because I've spoken about Hector Bellerin, and when did we start speaking about Hector Bellerin? Around an hour and 8 minutes. We might as well flick over to a next G real quick. Now, where are we? 5,000 people have watched this concurrently, 439 likes, 549 of you locked in. Please hit the like button, people. Share screen. Let's get on to. I was trying to avoid speaking about this because it's already been spoken about, really and truly. You know, this cut price thing. I don't know if it's the same thing where Valencia are broke, and I like Maxi Gomez. You know, he was at Celta Vigo. I'm sure he's a good little Uruguayan striker, but I don't think he's been the most prolific this season. But it is what it is. Like you can see, you know, apparently Valencia need money. If we're going to buy anyone, let's bring Yunus Musa home, people, really and truly. But Arsenal are reportedly interested in Valencia striker Maxi Gomez, with the La Liga club willing to sell the Uruguayan international for a cut price fee next month. As I was saying, people, pardon me, and this is probably the bulk of the rumors, Valencia are currently in dire financial straits, and despite selling 8 first-team players in the summer, their president insisted recently there would be additional sales of players. You know, again, if they're desperate, it means irrelevant that this price tag is now there, you know, so we can get him cheaper. And I don't mind him, people, because he's 24 years of age. You know, there's resale value there. There's the scope to get better. I do think he's a decent striker. I'm just a bit concerned of his current form. Saying that, you know, statistically, it might not back that up, people. And like I said, this season, I don't think he's done too good. But since he's joined Valencia, he's scored 14 goals in 53 games. Oh, these pop-ups, fuck off, man. You know, where his conversion rate was significantly better at 30 goals in 75 games. So like I said, he struggled a bit at Valencia, but a bargain deal for a 25-year-old who's got 19 Uruguayan caps, it could be decent. We've got Spanish speakers in the club. We've got a Spanish manager, you know, so it could be good. Obviously, I think we need a striker anyways. You know, I hear the Aubameyang ones. I think Lacazette is gone. I would like Balogun and Tyrese John-Jules to be groomed into being Arsenal strikers. I don't think Eddie Nketiah is good enough. So I do think this guy coming in could raise performances, but I don't think it's gonna happen for what it's worth, people. I don't think it's for what it's worth. Apparently, they've sold Coquelin, they've sold Rodrigo to Leeds. They sold Ferran Torres, as you lot all know. He's gone to Thingy. He's gone to Man City. Kondogbia, as a result of us taking Partey from Atletico Madrid, joined Atletico from Valencia. Danny Pereira and Garay have departed the club, and they sit 13th with just 1 point above the relegation zone. So it sounds quite similar to the Arsenal situation, as you lot can see, people. We're gonna have to see what happens in that regards. But I think that one is just not taking the mick, but just taking the bulk of the rumors from the fact of, yeah, they need peas and whatnot. So I'm not too sure for the Bellerin thing, not too sure for Maxi Gomez. Yeah, man, want to see someone come in the summer, but we'll have to see what happens in that regards, people. Yeah, so let's get on to the Man City game. I think we should talk about Arsenal versus Manchester City. Let me share my screen with you guys, people. Again, you know my notes. These notes are for me personally, and these used to be the notes I used to just look at, people. So like I said, you know, we're into the quarterfinals. It's the Manchester City versus Arsenal preview, the Arsenal versus Manchester City preview. We're into the quarterfinals. You know, there's a place in the final at stake. Well, no, I'm not too sure how this thing works, man. Yeah, World Cup. I'm sure there's a place in the final if we win this. I could be wrong, and there's semis. I'm bugging out. You know, we've got a long way to go. But you know, we're a couple of games away. Either way, we're a couple of games away from the final. I know it's not the biggest of cups, but you know, it would be lovely to, let's not say place in final at stake, but let's just say pride at stake. You know, it's a place to advance. It's more of a chance of a trophy. It's a big game. Yes, it's the EFL trophy. So if we win, people say it don't really mean anything. But, you know, we just need to stop the rut. We just need to, you know, it could do a lot for our confidence. You know, never know. Winning City, going into the Chelsea game, you need that bit of confidence. And our confidence and our whatnot is on the floor right now. So we are going to struggle. Like I said, maybe for us, you know, because it's a cup game, it takes the pressure off our feelings in the league. And maybe we can play upon that. You know, we're underdogs. You know, you lose here, you're out. We're underdogs. Not many people expect us to win. We can play upon that, you know. And we also need to remember we've beat them in a crucial game before. You know, you players have done it before. You've got to have logic. My problem is we're not going to have a chance if these players feel sorry for themselves. Now, when I look at Manchester City this season, you know, We know Sterling might not be as prolific in recent weeks, but he'll have his shooting boots on against us like he did against Southampton. We all know that, you know, we know what to expect with City. I can tell you the same things where we played them the last two times, and that Arteta's got histories, the protege, and all of those things. We know what to expect with City. We know they dominate possession. We know they're an attacking team. We know they're a team, if you switch off for 2 seconds, they will score 3 goals against you. We know they're a team that looks like they can score goals all over the field. You know, Edison can create a goal. Their fullbacks, centre halves, midfielders, and strikers can. We all know positioning is important in games. We all know they're going to try and get 2v1 situations in wide areas and have midfield runners. We know what to expect. We've played City enough times. We've watched City enough times. You know, they're not as aggressive as they have been in previous years. They're slightly more open, and they're less consistent, and they're lacking in terms of, and there's less consistency. You know, even the Southampton game, they did well, but there was even times if Shea Evans and a couple of them had their goal scoring boots on, they probably could have got something out of the game versus Man City, in my humble opinion. City, I don't think they're as aggressive. They don't press with the same aggressiveness. They don't dominate the midfield with the same. They're a bit passive in their play. I do think they need a rebuild. You know, I do think their teams at the end of the cycle, a lot of them, and they need to find the present day company, the new Fernandinho, the new Sergio Aguero, the new David Silva. But for us, we're still little boys against them. They're still miles ahead of us, you know. And Pep Guardiola, there's still a lot of pressure on him. Like I said, we know the threats. We know Sterling loves scoring against us. We know the movement is elite. We know they can create a goal from every position on the field. We've played them enough times, people. We've played them enough times. So I'm not going to do my usual preview. You know, if you have any self-respect, you'll turn up tomorrow and go out fighting. You know, the form we're in, it could get very long. It could get very long. You know, I've actually seen Fulham ultimately lost, but Fulham put in a respectable performance. West Bromwich Albion, maybe it was because of a new manager. West Bromwich Albion gave them a good performance, you know. St. Mary's and the form Southampton is always going to be tough for anyone, but, you know, Man City had to work for them points. You know, yeah, last time we played, we only lost 1-0 in the league to them, but at the same time, only losing is still losing. And like I said, I don't want to see, in a healthy way, I don't want respect for City. Obviously, respect them like you would respect any opponent. You know, think about their threats, but have a go. Have a go at them. Try and look at Leeds. Leeds had Pep begging for a point. I'm not saying be open because we're poor in the transition. I'm saying believe in yourself. Do not go there with an inferiority complex. And for me, the crucial one is you need to have self-respect. If you have any self-respect, you'll turn up tomorrow. And I've said that in every game we've lost. Forget the club, forget Arteta, forget the fans. If you turn up and get embarrassed tomorrow, it will get long for you lot. Even more, you might as well pack it up, hand in your notice and keep it moving, because this City team, they might not be the City they are, but they will put 3, 4, 5, 6 against you if you do the nonsense you was doing against Everton, really and truly. They know the threat. We know the threat that they come with, and our task is made harder. You know, not that Granit Xhaka helps us, but Granit Xhaka is out. Thomas Partey could also, he might be back, but he's probably out if we were to bet. You know, Aubameyang, Arteta's, I've read a bit of his press conference. He said Aubameyang's out. So without our key strikers, without a good midfielder, you know, we welcome back Gabriel. You know, City will have to monitor the condition of Gabriel Jesus, you know, after he got a blow against Southampton. You know, he missed the trip to Southampton, obviously, after getting a blow to his mouth against West Brom. So he'll probably be back. Not too sure on Sergio Aguero's fitness levels, but if there's a glimmer of hope, is what it is, people. You know, as this is all from City's. This is from City's website, but it says City go into the game on an 8-match unbeaten run in all competitions. During that period, we have conceded just 1 goal. So yeah, they're winning games. They're difficult to score against on paper. You look at the Southampton game. John Stones had a very good game, and he was a big part as to why they walked away with 3 points. Have a go. There are frailties in that team, but what you won't do is what won't happen is you won't score if you feel sorry for yourselves. Football is a game one on the football field, not paper. You know, you have to believe in yourself, and fundamentally, there is a lack of belief at Arsenal Football Club. Like you said, it went on to say, we boost a magnificent record in the Cat Yarabel Cup, having won the trophy for the past 3 seasons. With our last defeat in the competition coming back in October 2016, Mikel Arteta's Gunners are going through a tough spell at the moment, with last Saturday's 2-1 Premier League loss at Everton, leaving the Gunners with 14 points from 14 games. So we have to say we've got a point a game. You could say we drew every game just by looking at a basic thing. Appalling. As you lot know, you know, the good thing is, you know, the 2 teams we're about to play back-to-back in all competitions, we beat them. But it's of past laurels. And when you look at this, and also excluding the Liverpool game, because Liverpool versus them is a good game. But this tells you City have been good, but they're struggling. They're not scoring goals to the level they're scoring goals. VAR saved them, saved Porto, but they struggled. 1-0 against City. I mean, against Olympiacos. Spurs smoked them. Quite frankly, they put Burnley to the sword, a team that beat us. Fulham lost 2-0, but in the second half they were there. United and City was a bit of a different one. West Bromwich Albion, it was a courageous 1-1 draw. Obviously, Southampton went down fighting. If you go down fighting like Southampton and you lose, I don't mind it. Look at Southampton's 1-0 defeat in the league and go and look at our defeat. Ultimately, it's a defeat. You didn't get 3 points. Losing better doesn't mean anything. But that tells you the spirit. That tells you the self-belief in the teams. That tells you the desire. That tells you the pride. Because them man there went down fighting. If Che Adams didn't have a 50p head, he might have been able to score. We accepted it. We were happy to only lose 1-0 against City. In the same way we played Liverpool, we were just happy to not get embarrassed. And that's embarrassing for me. And like I said, with these games, with the Liverpool, excluding Liverpool, I don't know it's there, but United and West Bromwich Albion, and even the games in the Champions League and Fulham, yeah, they might be mixed results, but fundamentally, I saw fight and belief, apologies, from all those individuals. All of this goes out the window, definitely, when you play Arsenal, but you guys get the point, people. You get the point. It's a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, and we're going to have to stand up to be counted, without a doubt, people. They're not scoring like they used to. They're conceding, but we're not confident, people. We really aren't. In terms of a lineup, I don't know who to go with, people. We'll do the lineup in a sec, but I think Leno would be one, Holding would be one, because he's not been too terrible. Gabriel comes back in from, Louise. Gabriel served his ban, so it's that's the one I'm picking right now without reading any team news. I'll go Maitland-Niles. Midfield is dead, people, so it's El Nene, and so do I want to see El Nene and Ceballos again? We've got no choice in it. I don't mind moving Maitland-Niles into midfield and then going with Thingy, going with Cedric there. That could be an option. I'll probably go with that, man, because I can't. It probably won't be this, but I can't. But what I saw from El Nene and Ceballos was appalling. You might probably favor Ceballos. I would just do a greasy. Do you know what? Nah, man. Let me just stick to my gut, man. I'll do that formation later. So I'll go Maitland's at right back. Sadly, Ceballos and El Nene. Tierney picks himself. Or do you take hold? Do you know what? I think you take Holding out of that, I think you take Holding out of that. You go Tierney. I think I'll go Tierney. I think that makes Saka come into the team. And then that just leaves the front three, innit? And the front three for me is Pepe, Lacazette, Martinelli. And then I'm hoping that Martinelli, Saka, and Tierney, that's where the strength comes with. But then, the game's won or lost in midfield. And, we ain't got expansive midfielders anyways. This partnership concerns me. This is why I'm thinking, do you remove one of those, probably Ceballos by that logic, and go Maitland-Niles and just do this fighting thing, really? Because, box to box, let's try to just do this fighting thing. I'm not too sure if El Nene both of them will probably play. And like I said, I would like to drop one, but both of them have been appalling if I'm going to keep it 100% true, Ceballos, I don't know what he's on, man. He's just concerned with giving players verbal than actually being a footballer. El Nene's form's been decent this season, but he's been woeful, full stop. Martinelli and Saka pick themselves, as does Gabriel and Tierney, assuming Gabriel's actually served the suspension. I would like to see Reece Nelson, but I just give Pepe a run again. And I think, you've got to go with Lacazette ahead of other people, because other people haven't taken their chances, simply put, really and truly. It's as simple as that, people. Please make sure you're all hitting the like button. And here we go, man. Holding Gabriel, Tierney, that's what I changed. Ceballos is going to play. I've got to play Tierney. I can't be given. This is not a game for rests, in my opinion. You can get your rest when we play on Saturday and on Boxing Day. Love Sky Top. Big up all the members. Please make sure you're hitting the like, bro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, they drew against Leeds. Pep Guardiola was begging for a point against Leeds. I would look to bring Reece Nelson in, but for me, I'm going with Martinelli, man. I'm going with Martinelli. Full stop. Reading through you lot's comments. Apologies, people, seeing what you lot are saying. Big up the Twitch gang. Big up yourself. Come on, man. Big up yourself as well, man. Robin, appreciate all you guys tuning in each and every time. Trust me, man. Some of these players that aren't getting opportunities should be playing. I like the Celtic lad a lot. Wasn't there one of his last games? He chipped a penalty and it looked very good. Same game Christie scored. Christie scored a peach of a goal, man. You can already see it. I'm not too sure. I know Chambers has played in the middle, but to be fair, at this moment in time, we've got a thingy, man. We've got to try something. It don't really matter at this moment in time, really. So you're right in that regard. But yeah, man, that's probably the lineup I would go with, people, really and truly, man. Like El Nene was terrible. Like the midfield, both of them shouldn't play, but it's like who the hell are we gonna have in there, people? And with that being said, I think it's high time that we move into what Arteta specifically has had to say, people. Let me quickly stop screen, bring that one back for you guys. Big up the 500 odd of you in here. It means a lot that you lot are tuned in. Let's go on Arsenal.com now, people. Now we're here, and you can see Arteta on Man City, Aubameyang, and handling pressure. On the result in the Carabao Cup being a distraction from the league, he said, "This is what we want to use it for as well. It's a competition we want to try to win. We have two difficult opponents before in Leicester and Liverpool. We managed to beat them both. You know, we got away with it against Leicester. We needed penalties against Liverpool. Forgive me if I'm wrong. We managed to beat them both, and we are now playing at home. We are one step closer to Wembley. So it's a really nice game to play, as this is the type of game we are looking for throughout the season." That's a lot of talking. If this is the sort of game you're looking for in the games you want to play in, play like it. And that comes from the manager, but also the players. He was then asked on if the job is tougher than he thought when he took it. He said, "Well, I could not think about some of the challenges we've been through this year for many different reasons, some internal at the club and some external with the pandemic. Then as well with some of the results we have picked up in the last few months in the Premier League, but probably as well, I could not imagine some of the nice moments we had when I stepped in, probably the FA Cup. I knew the challenges that we were facing, that we'd been going through for a couple of years or more already. So some really positive highlights. And obviously now everything is looking a bit more negative because our form in the Premier League. And you started off well, but it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And ultimately, nobody cares about the in between. We all know he's had to deal with player bust stops, COVID, and all of this. People only going to care about what happened when you walked in, that FA Cup, and what happened if you leave. Like if you was to leave tomorrow, they'll only talk about the FA Cup and they talk about your demise. They don't care. People don't care about the in between, and that's the saddest of life, people. But he said everything. That's the one thing I like from Arteta so far. He said it there. You know, there's been some stuff internally on whether he's worried about relegation. Well, when you are in this position and you have the points that we have at the moment, you have to look and be careful, because we haven't been a lot of times in this position. I think last year when I came in, we were in a really similar position and the same talk was around the place. It is normal because we need to start picking up points and then forget about it and start looking up the table much further. But it's a normal thing to do when you just look at the table and get conclusions pretty quickly. And you have to consider fighting relegation because there's already complacency in this team. I do not want more complacency in this team. Just scrolling down to see how much is actually here, people. Cool. Moving away from that though, people. Like he said, we have to worry about relegation. He said, on the atmosphere in the dressing room at the moment, I didn't say that I don't pay attention. I said I don't read. I do pay attention and I have to be aware. And I'm aware of what is happening. And that's part of my job. What I am saying is that I don't read. If I had started reading all the comments where they are positive or negative, it would drive me mad. And my suggestion to every player is exactly the same. All the time it happens with social media as well, because you cannot control who is writing and what their intentions are. So it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to do. And that's true. You know, players should turn off from social media time to time. When you talk about the dressing room and the atmosphere at the club, the atmosphere is good as it can be. When we are all hurting because of the results in the Premier League are hurting us. Everyone is worried and everybody is suffering because we want much more. We are working to get much more. In the dressing room, when you are losing football matches, it is difficult because they suffer as well, because they care, because they want more. If they care and they want more, they wouldn't make these same mistakes, and they wouldn't let people just simply drag 3 points from them. They would put more of a fight up, like it wasn't there against Goodison Park, and many different results. So if this is how you fight, it's what concerns me, because if this, you're telling me you lot are fighting and stuff, and I'm seeing that, boy, wouldn't want to be with any of you lot on a night out and things go pear-shaped, because it's not going to end well for man. I don't see any galvanization. I don't see brothers in arms. I don't see everybody fighting for a collective goal. I don't see anybody who wants to win, as much as they're alive. I don't see anybody like that. I don't get that vibe from anybody at this club. And that's what tells you everything about it, people. If they want more, start producing more. Start putting in the hard graft. Start, putting in the work. And he said, because the confident levels start to go, but the unity is there. Well, based on Leno's comments, based on player busts up, based on what I saw on the field with players shouting at each other, rightly or wrongly, I think Louise was right to lay into people. I didn't see unity. I saw some players that wanted to, very few players, in fact, that wanted to stand up to be counted, and certain players like El Nene and Ceballos, mainly El Nene in that regard, because Ceballos was just poor. El Nene hiding. El Nene was not showing for the ball, evidently staying in places you won't get it, and then going backwards. If you're going to be like that, keep it moving. Is there 100% unity around this club? It is impossible at any club, even when you win, because when players are not participating, it is more difficult. But when you look at the perspective about how we are losing football matches and how we are where we are, it's pretty incredible. Last year, we won the game against Everton with a 25% chance of winning. You win 3-2. Bro, what are you talking about, man? We know this. Forget the statistics thing. Last weekend, it was a 67% chance of winning any Premier League game in history, and a 9% chance of losing, and you lose. 3% against Burnley, and you lose. 7% against Spurs, and you lose. There's something else apart from that. It's just not the performance on the field. So again, this sounds like cop-outs. When I hear Arteta talking about this, when I talk about points, this tells me excuses, and I want to hear solutions. These are not solutions. What are you telling me about win percentages? There's clubs out there that are scoring more goals than they were expected to, and people that are scoring less, like us. These statistics don't mean anything. This screams you don't have any ideas. You don't have any ideas. What was the win percentage when Aston Villa played Liverpool? What was the win percentage then? And who went and won that? Why? Of course, it was a crazy game, but Villa believed in themselves. What are you talking about? What was the win percentage of us versus Burnley, whether our poor form or not? Absolute nonsense you're coming out with. Nonsense. It don't mean anything. Stop looking for excuses, because you sound stupid with this. It's absolutely nonsense. He said it is something that needs to go away, and at the moment, saying that it doesn't care and you lose. The only thing that anyone cares is that you lose a football match, and this is what he hear. What he hear? You don't know. This ain't my English, people. I don't know I think that whoever's typing up this thing needs to learn how to type. I don't know what that is, but that just sounds like stupidness from Arteta. On whether he has any good news on Aubameyang. Aubameyang is feeling much better, and he was more positive yesterday than in the previous 2 days. We'll have another scan in the next few days, and we'll see how quickly we can get him back in the team. But we know how important he is for us. He feels that responsibility, and he's trying his best to get fit as quickly as possible. Not going to go any more on that, and I'd assume he's going to miss tomorrow, with the hope of if he is going to be involved, we've got him back for the league game Boxing Day Saturday against Chelsea. And he said why possession isn't converting itself into chances, because it's what you do with possession. It's what you do with it. It's about passing to disrupt the opposition. It's about how you get that ball into the back of the net. We think having the ball for the sake of it means a thing. When you just have players playing 5-yard passes, a lack of movement, very left-hand centric, you're very easy to read as a team. Like he said, I'm zero interested in ball possession. I'm interested in what we can do with the ball and how efficient we are. Our conversion rate and our finishing rate is letting us down at the moment, because with the rest, it is what it should be to win many football matches. And it worked here before, and we were winning because our finishing quality was through the roof. No, we was overperforming. It wasn't sustainable. The amount we relied on Aubameyang's goals. And it happened at the start of this year when we beat West Ham, when we beat Leicester in the cup, when we turned it around in the Sheffield United game. People were sat there and saying, oh, we played well, we did this and that. No, we played the exact same way we've played in these defeats. The results are just different. And this is what annoys me about football fans. Whenever the result goes a favorable way, we want to shut up about them. And you're called negative. Why can't we look at things in balance? This just seems like a lot of excuses to me, A lot of excuses. a lot of excuses. It's not making any sense to me, people, really and truly. He said he said at the end of the day in football, both boxes make a difference. And if you don't make it right in your own one, and when you get into your opponent's box, you don't put it in the net, that's what makes results go one way or another. And last time I checked, that's exactly what football is. He was then asked on, as you lot can see it, the form on younger players. He said it's part of what they have to do and what they have to go through to become really important players for this club. You have to see how people react in difficult moments, and they have to experience themselves to get through these difficult moments and how they're going to handle the pressure. If they're able to do that, they have to handle good moments, and how they handle that to continue performing at the level that is required here. So it's another experience for them. And I must say that they've been much more mature, responsible, and efficient than I was expecting. So in my opinion, they're doing very well. On how the pressure compares to being an assistant at a club at a team like City, he said, well, it's different, because at the end of the day, the decision making is completely down to you. You are in the spotlight when things are going well. When things are not going well, that's the biggest difference. There are a lot of similarities in certain areas, but it's not like being the main man and the decision maker that changes it all. I'm not gonna speak about this, but we all know it's not enough. It's not enough. It is not enough. And he was then asked on whether he could walk away from the job. I don't like to think about those steps, because then I'll be thinking in a negative way. I cannot deny that at the moment I have to try to be as positive as I can. I believe in what we're doing, try to modify things to make it work better and stay strong. We're going through a lot of difficulties. The last thing we want to be thinking about more is more problems coming up in the next few months. I'm not in that state of mind. I know the responsibility that I have and why I'm here. Everybody knows that from a few months ago, this wasn't going to be resolved quickly. I think that's the consciousness of everybody at the club. We didn't expect it, but we expected to see us. We might not be at the end of the tunnel and see the light now, but we wanted to see some flashlights. We're walking down this tunnel. Okay, cool. Man, then don't step there. There's you're going to hit your head. It's leaking there. We're not showing any building blocks to say, okay, this is what we're moving into. You can see what Wolves are trying to do, what Everton are trying to do, what what Leeds are trying to do. So you can see what every club we've played this week or in recent weeks, you can see what they're trying to do with their ethos and things. We don't know what we're trying to do. And a lot of them teams are not where they are, they're not where they are, where they want to be, but they're trying to get there eventually. I don't see that with Arsenal. We're just hoping that we stumble across returning into the top four and a consistent Champions League club again. It's not going to work. We failed to plan, so we have planned to fail. When you do nothing, that tells you you've done something, which means we're not going to get anywhere. I'm not going to read this. He's spoken about being patient with Martinelli. We know the obvious. He then spoke on, Martinelli's to deliver quickly. We know this as well, and he's a man I hope plays. He said on whether he would play his Europa League team on Tuesday, he said, let's see how the boys are today. Oba is not fit for tomorrow, that's for sure. He won't be playing tomorrow, so we'll see who is available, because we have a few doubts as well in other positions. We want to get together a very competitive team, because we know the level of City and we want to win tomorrow. I would love to see these two young boys involved. Willian, I can't understand his spot. Balogun, for me, I think that tells you where you need to go, my brother. If Aubameyang is injured, you're allowed 9 subs on the bench now. Eddie Nketiah's form is woeful, and you're not getting no opportunities. You've only paid 60 for as much as Arteta, can give all the lip service in the world he wants about Balogun. 61 minutes. And I'm not saying Balogun needs to be a first team player, but he needs to be in and around the first team, either here or elsewhere. That's the only way he's going to develop. Balogun, don't let them make you sign a new deal and they're dashing you under 23s. If they haven't got a plan for you, whether you're going to go out on loan, whether you're going to play here and get little minutes and build, leave the club, because I love Balogun. I want Balogun to stay. But if I'm him, don't look at the fact of you like Arsenal. If there's not a genuine plan, get the F out of this football club, because again, it's concerning. And that's one thing that annoys me about Arteta. He does a lot of lip service around young players, and when push comes to shove, he keeps with these experienced players who are just failing him over and over and over again, people. I mean, I don't simply care on what he was like as a player when things weren't going his way. It's of no relevance to me. I just care about how you are as a manager. I've had big criticisms about people around him, because I do think he's got yes men. Is there people telling him that, yo, this isn't working, maybe you should stop playing Willian and things like that? I don't know. But he said, I have a lot of different people with different backgrounds, some of them with huge experience, more than 25 years in this league, with different managers who have been through almost everything in football. I think it's very important to complement my skills and the things that I haven't been through. It's very much needed. I believe even though they've been here in the Premier League, in this Premier League for 25 years, some of the things we've experienced in the last year, they've never been through, and they've never been through still. It's the most weird and uncommon year in history, but they are really useful and really important for me. And he also went on to say, on the dynamic between them, he said, I am very hard on myself. Believe me, we have a really open relationship and discussions to evaluate everything that we are doing constantly. What can we change? What can we do after? What's working? How can we maintain them? How can we give a players a lift? How can we be more stable in this club? It's a lot of things being discussed all the time. Not only with them, it's the same relationship I have with Edu and with the board members and all members of staff here. It's not about a man making all decisions. It's about how we can make this function better. And none of you are functioning, on the sporting front. Arteta, you're not doing nothing. People above you, they haven't brought in players or got rid of players or tied down contracts or done anything. So we're collectively moving into nonsense. A lot of you, it just feels like a lot of you are left to your own devices. I haven't really got time for it. And I do appreciate where he said, we need to be, we can't be victims and things. And I do appreciate what he said about Martinelli. We can't put too much pressure on Martinelli. We cannot put that pressure of being a club saviors on his shoulders. As I said, he brings that enthusiasm that the fans can see because he's got something special. And even though I agree with that sentence, he does. Forget him being special in his potential. We just want players who get it. Martinelli, whether he wants to perform because he's a young man and he wants to play football, he cares about the club and things, he gets it. We see effort. We see someone that wants to try score goals or just win a game of football. So forget the fact that fans can see him as special, same as Saka. They just look like two footballers that want to play for Arsenal Football Club in the same way. When we've played other teams, they've had 11 players that just look like they want to play a game of football. That's why there's a lot of pressure. And this is why you need to do more, are you reining it home to the more experienced players, the Xhakas, the Bellerins, the Williams, that, fans believe more in you. You've won the Premier League. The Arsenal fans don't give a crap about that. They'd rather Saka and Martinelli. That should kill you inside, William. That should kill you. Willian should be playing to the standard where we're saying, how did Chelsea let him go? Or Ceballos, how were Madrid stupid enough to loan him out again? Instead, a lot of us would drive Willian ourselves to whatever club he wants to go with. We can't wait to see the back of Ceballos and not just them too, many other players, There is pressure on him to deliver, but I'm pretty sure fans would rather the effort and the naiveties that the Martinellis, the Sakas, the Balligans, the Smith Rowes, all of these sort of players, they'd rather persist with that than players who are experienced and consistently making the wrong decisions each and every time. It's not going to help them. Big up the 500 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. It doesn't cost a thing. So I'm not too sure I believe in any of this tosh that he's necessarily saying, but let's let him, is what it is. All right, we're finally up to 500 odd likes, people. 571 of you in here. 522 likes. Please get the like button up, people. Please get the like button, man. It means a lot. Moving forward with that, and we're almost done, people, really and truly. Look, we've previewed the game, we've spoken about rumours. I just wanted to take you into my loan report, people, where I spoke about players. Now, Mark McGuinness, he's a centre-half that's gone out on loan to Ipswich Town. This is all the games. I haven't been across all the games. I'm only one man and it's been locked. But from what I've seen, he looked good in the 2-1 victory over Burton. I'm sure you've all seen his drag backs and him bringing out the ball. He's looking like Ronald Koeman and Beckenbauer in that, calm under pressure. I think he's doing well for Ipswich. He did in that game, and like he's been there, he has shown some naiveties, while I think he's got the core to be a decent player and have a career. Sometimes he can make rash decisions. Sometimes in the build-up to goals, he does make the wrong decisions, and he can be a bit naive off the ball. In what I've seen from Ballard for Blackpool, he did very well against Accrington Stanley. They kept a clean sheet and they had to weather the storm. There was large periods where it looked like Accrington Stanley were going to score. And Ballard's another one whose stock's rising. And I know there's going to be 8 centre-halves. There's 8 centre-halves on our books, and some are going to leave. And I do think it might be wishful thinking for any of these young players in Medley, Ballard, McGuinness, Clark to get chances next season. And I think they all should put themselves in the shop window. I think Ballard is someone that could get a move. If he stays fit, he went on loan to Swindon last year and injury robbed him of some real development. But him and McGuinness are going to get moves, in my opinion. Listen, forget Eddie and Nketiah. We've got Tyrese John Jules. I love this guy. He's had sadly, like his Lincoln loan spell, he's had an injury, but he still managed to have 9 appearances and 3 goals and 2 assists. He came on in the latest game, he came on as a second half substitute against Burton, and he did quite well to put himself around in these 23 minutes. He's also bagged against Hull and Northampton since returning from injury. And in recent weeks, he's got an assist. It might not have been the Burton game. The game before Burton, he got an assist. So yeah, he's had a hand in 5 goals in 9 appearances. Hopefully he stays fit. Medley's been having a good loan spell at Gillingham, but in the last couple of weeks, from what I have seen, he did not feature against Accrington as he was on the bench, and the same went for Rochdale. Trey Coyle's manager said he's 80% fit, and that might be why he hasn't played of recent as well. He was on the bench against Rochdale and didn't come on. I personally think Matt Smith is going to go a long way in the game. I think against Doncaster, he misplaced a couple of his passes, but it still showed some consistency and was still one of the best Swindon players on the field. I think he did much better in the 2-2 draw against Charlton. It was his ball that led to an assist as well. From a corner, and he also won the ball back in the build up to the first goal Swindon scored. And I believe, like Ballard, Smith will have a lot of offers potentially from League One and Championship teams. Now, Bowler is someone that needs to put himself in the shop window, as it isn't going to happen for him here. He got 27 minutes against Gillingham. They were already 4-1 down at the time. And it appears that since, I can't remember the game, but since he was substituted at half time, he needs to earn his spot back into that team. And that's been quite hard for him to do, people. Away from that, you have James Olayinka. He came off injured in the 1-1 draw against Mansfield, but he scored. And I believe in his last couple of games, he's got 2 and 3. And Southend, apologies if I said Southampton, Southend are in a mad relegation battle. He's got to stand up to be counted. And again, people are fighting for their careers. And sad to see, I don't know the status of Olayinka's injury, but I think he's doing all he can to show that they can have faith in him. Clark got 90 minutes against Newport, and he was quite busy, and he looked comfortable at that level. I was very impressed with Ben Shafe, people, really and truly. Against Huddersfield, I think he struggled. He gave the ball away a bit needlessly at times. 6 out of 10, as I said, based on what I saw. But I think he had a very good game against Sheffield Wednesday. He played 83 minutes. He put his body on the line in that defensive mid spot. He kept things ticking. He stayed tidy on the ball when he can. I think he put a shift in, man. He did all he could. And there was an incident, like I said, he blocked Josh Windass early on from scoring. So it was a good performance. And again, Ben Shafe is someone that I think is not going to get a chance here, really. So he needs to put himself in the shop window. Mavropanos got 53 minutes against Union Berlin, and he was an unused sub against in their last game against Wolfsburg, or was it Werder Bremen? I always get them teams mixed up, but he was, from what I checked. Guendouzi, again, I would love him back at the team. Still needs to improve defensively. It was okay on the ball against Freiburg, but it was a poor performance for everybody involved. And he played in the 0-0 against Mainz. So again, I guess Arsenal are hoping that he puts himself in the shop window. I don't know what's going on with Torreira, but they played Cardosa in the Copa del Rey, and he got an assist and got 90 minutes. However, in their 3-1 victory against Elche in the league, he did not play. And despite the fact that in Spain you can make 5 subs, he still didn't come on. So I don't know what he needs to do or what he's not doing to get in Simeone's books, but it's not gone the way I thought it would have been. Now, finally, if we talk about the under-18s, people, let me scroll that down. Arsenal's under-18s won 2-1 in the FA Youth Cup against Rotherham. Assuming that was the team's name, I could be wrong, but I was proud of us. It had everything. It had late goals. It had late drama. For them as well, they equalised late on because of a penalty. It's firmly the magic of the FA Cup. And for me, Charlie Patino had a very good game. Lovely touches and passes. Scored a weldy in the second half as well from 20-odd yards. Amari Hutchinson, he's played left wing. He's played cam. He's played right wing, like in this game. Running riot in the game and consistently burning his man. I feel Alex Kirk at centre-half, he looked to take the ball forward. Agongbo showed good mentality. I think Kilo Taylor-Hart was good, especially in the second half. Marco Flores tried to take the game. Nathan Butler-Adeje played well. The centre-halves in our team also played good as well. I think it was a good performance to watch, people, really. Early on, first 20 minutes, I think we made a positive start. They are the inferior team, so I think they put 11 men behind the ball. We was having, we was in the half for most of the game. Everyone wanted the ball, cute little touches. I'm just looking at how we're going to break them down, sort of thing. They were respecting us way too much, but we was having decent efforts, but they weren't really threatening the keeper. I'm saying, how are we going to break them down? And this is where I wanted to see the players show their maturity, because I did think as the game continued to go on, our boys might show panic and anxiousness about not scoring, and that's where these boys have to be a bit mature. Like I said, man, we're playing good. We're taking up nice positions. We had them camped in their first half, in their own half for large periods of the game, much so the first opening period. And at some point, I was thinking, like I said, how have we not scored seriously? I was baffled as the whole game was in their half, but they went into half time at 0-0. And like I said, in the second half, we came out firing, more of the same. But like I said, you can tell we're starting to get a bit anxious about not scoring because we're having chance after chance. I'm starting to think we're forcing it a bit, and we need to just understand it's going to come. I know it's harder to say. And like I said, many players, much less Flores. Flores also got subbed in the game, but having cute touches. There was one opportunity as well. I wasn't seeing anybody gamble. Amari put one lovely low-driven cross, and literally, if someone darts over the 6-yard box, they've got a tap in, and no one was there. But as I said, you could feel it was coming. You could firmly feel a goal was coming. And Kiddo Hart-Taylor's been causing problems all game. Don't know what he has to do to get a pro deal at this club, personally, but it is what it is. 1-0 late on. I think within the last 10 minutes, you saw the goals, people, really and truly, you know. Patino scored a screamer. What a player he is, you know, and I was impressed with him, you know. What you're getting with him. He's mature on the ball. His positioning is good. Lovely little drops of the shoulder and body feints and recycles it. You know, he scored a weldy, a well strike, a well long range strike. Gerrard be proud of that, really and truly. He tried that a couple of times in the games. I did a couple of other midfielders, but it worked, you know. 1-0, and I thought that was it. Now, literally, people, it's getting quite scary. We got hit on the sucker punch. I think it was the 82nd minute. I believe it was Mziza Gongbo. Apologies if it wasn't him. I can't actually remember, but I'm pretty sure he gave away the penalty. Now, it wasn't like Aurier's against Leicester, but it was in the sense of he's going to clear the ball and he's not looking at that man. He's got no intentions to hurt the man, and my man's just got his body there, and it is a penalty. It's a harsh one, but it is a penalty. I was thinking at the time, like, it's never a penalty, but it was a sucker punch. They took it, they converted it, and that was the one real chance I feel they had, you know, personally. And it looked like, you know, we might have all this possession and we might go crashing out. Because like I said, the magic of the cup is dangerous, people. But we scored from a corner in the dying embers of the game. Poor marking from them. Ogongbo managed to eventually pull it in the back of the net and took himself from 0 to hero, if I can remember correctly. And it was him. Ultimately, it's a good end to the year because we're still in the FA Youth Cup. We've turned our form around at under 18s level to a degree, who's in a bit of a rot. I believe at under 23s level, we've got 4 wins in a row. You saw Arsenal's ladies showing Arsenal's men how to beat Everton. Every team at Arsenal seems to be good and seems to give fans pride, apart from the first team, really and truly. And hopefully they start to do that tomorrow for Arsenal's fans' sake, people. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards. Big up the 500 people locked in already, man. More likes than views. Mad, innit, you know? People hit the like button and come view the thing, man. What's going on? Like, what's going on, man? We're on 579 likes, man. Come on, keep pushing up that likes one, man. Keep pushing up the like button. Bro, trust me, man. Big up everyone. Oh, this tea is cold, man. But it was already done, man. It was already done. He should have just been given a new deal and played, man. Everyone acts like Gnabry was some new thing. Everyone forgets about the 2014 FA Cup run, people. Oh, it seems afraid, man. Seems afraid. I don't know what it is, man. This is it. Big up Talawa TV as well. But that's what scares me. You're putting faith in players that are not gonna match it back for you, people. It doesn't make sense. 6K concurrent, man. Crazy, man. Really and truly, you know me, man. To be fair, he just hasn't kicked on. I think he just needs to leave, man. I just think the standard is high here, man. You know. But anyways, people, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I've been here for a minute. We're touching 2 hours. I'll probably be back again later. If not, you know me, I'll be back again tomorrow. But like I said, we've covered, you know, Arsenal versus City. We've spoken about the young players. We've spoken about the transfer nonsense. I've done my little loan report and things like that. So I'm going to get out of here, people. I'm going to keep it moving, people. On that note, please make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Please check out the pinned message because tomorrow, live watch along business. On that note, DG, I'm out.